Hi guys, Norm with you again, and as we can see here, this is the Audioline PT-340, which basically everybody knows about, and it's the very similar to the Uniden 100 radio, a very nice radio, but of course that's not what this video is about. This video is about the Audioline CB that you've probably never heard of, and I say probably because there is some videos of it on here already. But today we're looking at this one, which as you can probably read from the top, it says Audioline Remote CB Transceiver. This is actually the PT-342, and it's a very interesting little radio. So let's have a look at it. So there it is in its glory. Of course, that's not it. I mean, that is just the main base box. As you see there, it says remote transceiver. And here is the control. Look at that. It's got the channel changer, the PTT, the speaker and mic, and the volume and the sculpture and high-low power. And this obviously plugs in via this big sort of, was it 20 pin plug or something, is it? I mean, is there 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, yeah, 21 pin plug by the looks of it. And that sort of just plugs into here somehow. That's it. And we screw this on. And if we can see here, there was a little note on top of it when I bought it, which says no transmit receive, no channel change, and no volume. And now it's got a on-off switch broke because the little bit of plastic on the on-off switch broke. I have actually repaired this, and if I turn on the power supply now, boom, there we can see channel 1, and transmit receive is working, and we do have channel movement, and we do have volume. So this is now fully working, but the on-off switch does not actually turn it off now. It just goes down to 0, and that's because they've used a very basic control in this, and there's a little bit of plastic which flicks the switch to turn it off, and that little bit of plastic has broke. I have ordered some very similar switches, so when they get here, we'll have to have a look at doing that. I don't really want to open up the mic before then. Well, I call this a microphone. I don't really want to open up the remote unit before then because there's a massive wires inside there, and it is basically jammed in, but very, very handy. And of course, with this CB radio in your car, if they stole the handset bit, it's no use to them. And then of course this bit would be buried underneath a seat or somewhere, and then you've got a CB that somebody can't really steal. And so yeah, that's pretty handy. Let's get to channel 20. Oops. And let's go up and have a look at the frequency counter and square meter. Oops, let me. Okay, so the power meter is on the 20-watt range there. And if we key up, we're doing about 0.4 watts. Of course, let's put it on high power. And there we are doing 4 watts. and the frequency 27,791,46. Of course, to be perfect, that would be 0.25, but that is well within the spec. And if you go to channel 40, what have we got? 27,791,47, and just about, yep, just over 4 watts, which is good. And channel 1, we're doing 27,601.45, and again, just over 4 watts. So that is looking very nice. I haven't actually tuned this up or anything yet. I've basically just repaired its faults. And of course, that's a good thing to think about when you see it's got 3 different faults on it, or it had 3 different faults. So you're thinking, okay, it's got no transmit receive, no channel change, no volume. So you think, okay, 3 faults. Now, you might be put off by that, thinking, well, that's 3 things I've got to fix. But no, because what it'll be, you've got to think, what is common to all those 3 things? See, because it's very unlikely that if the transmit and receive's gone bad, they're not going to keep using it. So the channel change isn't going to go bad and you're not going to lose the volume. So obviously these 3 things have happened at once. So you know there's one cause for these 3 things going bad. Now, of course, one thing that's common to all of those 3 things is the voltage rails. So of course I tested the voltage rails and they were all screwed up. And you can guess what was wrong. Yes, it was the bad caps. And here are some of the, well, this is all of the ones because I have basically recapped the whole unit when I found that some of these were bad. And in fact, I made a list because I've done several of the, I've done Uniden 200s and the Audioline 340, and most of the capacitors were kind of okay, some were borderline. But in this one, that all of these capacitors were absolutely bad. The 470 UF 10 volts there, that was shorted out. The 220 UF 10 volts, they were shorted out, or one was. And, you know, pretty much all of the caps were absolutely bad in this thing. And obviously replacing all those bad caps has fixed it. And so that's very good because I was a bit concerned when I seen no channel change. You see, because I must say that when I first saw this thing online, I thought it's basically an Audioline 340 and they took the front off and put this remote head on it. And so I thought, well, that's why I bought it, because I thought, well, I know all about the Audioline 340 and it's going to be easy to fix. But when I got it here, of course, if I reach down and get the 340 again, the 340 is actually much bigger than this unit. I mean, the Audioline 340 is quite a small radio in itself, but it's actually quite a lot bigger than this hideaway unit. As you can see there, there's about an inch at the side, and it's maybe an inch at the back as well. So it's basically a lot smaller. So that really confused me. And then, of course, I opened it up and it's absolutely completely different to the 340 inside. It's a complete different thing. And it actually uses a Cybernet PLL. It uses the LC7137 PLL. And then it uses kind of a decoder chip system. Like there's a serial, it's serial related. I don't completely understand it. There's a chip in here that talks to a chip in there, which selects the channels. It's quite a complicated system. I mean, certainly back in the day, I did take a Uniden 100, which is of course similar to the Audioline 340. I took the Uniden 100. I took the fascia off it. I think it was like 15 wires I needed or something. And so I got like a couple of cords of alarm wire, and I actually made a remote head. So it was like the hideaway, but it had the actual um, fascia of the Uniden 100. And that was because I wanted to put it on a bicycle. So you would have the head bit up on the handlebars, and then the actual CB radio bit would fit on the back rack of the bike. But that didn't turn out to be too successful, and it was just much easier to use a handset. And obviously, handsets back then weren't quite as small as these, but this now is, when you compare that to that, even with the battery on the handset, it's really not much bigger. And so these days, you would probably just use a handset instead, But certainly um, in the day, this would have been £140 when it was new. I'm not sure exactly how that compares with the 340 or the 341. Um, but yeah, it's certainly an interesting little device. Obviously, let me know in the comments if you want to see inside it, and then I will open it up in another video and we can have a look inside it. Um, I will have to do the switch fix in this one. And obviously, if I couldn't fix the switch, if the switch can't be fixed, then I'll just put it on the tone high and low. That'll be the on-off switch. That's the easiest thing to do. But hopefully with the switches I've ordered, they are very similar, and hopefully that will get that back working. So yeah, all in all, this is a very nice CB radio. And so I haven't tuned it up or done anything to it yet, but certainly it appears to be all good at the moment. I haven't tested the receive yet, but being that the transmit is all good and everything is okay, it looks good. So there we go, guys. So that'll do for today. And let me know in the comments if you would like to see me open this up and have a look inside it. And of course, I must say, which I forgot to say, that the Audioline 340 and 341, PT-340 and PT-341, were made by Harry Moss. The PT-342, this was made by Uniden, which is very strange to think. And also the Uniden 100 was made by Harry Moss as well, and the Uniden 200, or Uniden Uniace, I should say. Yes. So there we are. That's the interesting thing, isn't it? The Audioline remote, and you can see the size of it, quite small when I put my hand there. The Audioline 342 remote set, often called the hideaway. Beauty. All right, guys, catch you later. Cheers for now.